Hi everyone, this is Tina with Dirt Therapy Gardens, and I just wanted to first, before we get started with this video, I wanted to do a life update. So July was a really rough month for us. The beautiful part is that our new grandson was born, and that was the highlight of the month. But everything else was really rough in July. The first thing is that my daughter, a week after the baby was born, started having some issues where she had to be rushed to the emergency room. She got admitted for a few days, and it was definitely a life-threatening thing that happened, but the doctors were really quick to work on getting her better, and just after a few days in the hospital, she was back on her feet again. So we are so thankful that she was able to get the medical attention that she needed and recover from what happened. So we're very happy with that. But the second part is that I had noticed that my blood pressure wasn't regulating itself. It was really high, and it was quick. It was onset. I've always had really good blood pressure. This seemed like it was just a fluke, but then when I started testing myself regularly every day, I was noticing that the numbers that were happening in the doctor's office were also happening on my blood pressure machine at home. So after a lot of tests and even a heart cath, it turns out that I do have some blockages with my heart. I am not limited, which is great. I didn't have to have any stent or any intervention in the blockages, but they are definitely something serious that I'm going to have to make sure that I'm taking care of myself. And so theirs was quite a bit of a shock there. I was really weak. I couldn't garden even after the heart cath procedure. I wasn't able to do any type of lifting. And so it made it really hard for me to be able to get out in the yard, do on any garden maintenance, because it went in my right arm. And mind you, I am left-handed. So you'll see that I will use clippers, things like that with my left hand. I am more right-handed when it comes to gardening chores. So weeding, weed whacking, all of the things that go with gardening, I was not able to do. So the garden looks really bad. We have a lawn care service that does take care of our grass. So at least that was being done, and the flowers looking beautiful themselves. They don't need any help. It's just the areas that can grow so quickly. And we had a lot of rain. Like every time it would look like that I would be able to get outside and do something, it'd be raining. We had severe storms. We've had 90-mile-an-hour winds. I mean, it has just been just a crazy summer, and everything is growing faster than I can maintain. So with that said, I am going to be doing garden videos. They're going to be taking a little bit at a time instead of trying to tackle on so much on myself. I have to learn to slow down a little bit and make sure that I'm drinking my water and taking care of myself and not getting overheated when I am outside. So in today's video, I'm going to be working on the East Garden. This is where our grapevine pergola is, with our shade garden plants. It has been neglected, and I'm just going to get to it. As you can see, I have started working on the East Garden. You know, it has really just gotten a little bit out of hand with me being down for a couple weeks. But I am getting there. I'm getting stronger, and things are going really well. So with that said, I'm going to come over here and I'm going to just weed whack everything and try to get it all cleaned. I pruned up the grapevines, which you'll see piles of grapevines kind of all scattered throughout. And I did do some hand pulling some weeds over behind the fountain where the bench is. So things aren't terrible. I mean, they could be definitely much worse. But I feel like with the amount of plants that I have in the space, it really kind of takes care of itself. I just do have to get in here and clean up where grass and stuff like that has grown on in between the sidewalk. Very old sidewalk. It's not like a normal sidewalk. It's supposed to have like pavers, and then it had concrete in there, and I mean it was way before us. And every once in a while I'll come in here and I'll just clean off the whole thing because grass just and weeds just grow up. So I did get some cleanup done. You saw me, I weed whacked this whole area. I still need to go in and really do like detail weeding, but that might be for another day. But I really got a chunk of the weeding and weed whacking done in this area. It just really needed it, and I haven't been able to get to this area in a little bit. So I'll just take you around and kind of show you what everything is and what's new, and I think that will be all that I do today. I have a bloomstruck hydrangea right here, and it is bloomed. In fact, I think this is probably the last bloom, but all the other ones are have already been spent. But this one is one of those that can be changed from pink to blue depending on your soil acidity, and mine just happened to be pink. I really like the color pink that it turns into, so I don't care if it's blue. I think it's really pretty as it is. I've got some coleus there, and I have a hosta that I need to get planted in this area, kind of in front of the pot. I just haven't had a chance to do that yet. Here is an eclipse hydrangea, and it's going to have dark burgundy blooms. This is the first year I had it, so I only planted it maybe a month ago, and it is looking really good. And then I've got my pots, my planters. I mean, the super petunias could be looking a little bit better, but I'm not too worried about that. The coleus are going strong, and so is the sweet potato vine. I think it's looking really good. The hostas are doing really well, and so is the purple fountain grass. Now, the purple fountain grass is an annual here, and so is the coleus and sweet potato vine and that stuff. So anything that you see planted in pots is going to be biennials, and my perennials are going to be in the ground. Now, the one thing that I would strongly recommend is if you get some of this bishop's weed, just forget and don't do it. I happened to get a hosta that had some of this bishop weeds kind of tied to the roots, and I thought, oh, well, I'll just let it go and see what it does. And you can see it is crazy on how much it actually does. So I've gone in here and pulled it multiple times. It still comes back with a vengeance. It's very hard to get rid of. The roots are very, very shallow, but they splinter off very easily. So if you don't get all of it, it's just going to come up and then send runners everywhere else. So note, do not plant bishop's weed if you're in eastern Nebraska. It does not stay in its lane here. The sweet summer love clematis on blooming. I don't cut them back until spring, where I cut them down to about 8 inches down. They look really good. Light pink and purple flowers in the summertime. I've got the boba hydrangea flanked with another one of the coleus with the sweet potato vine, looking really good. I am really considering moving the bobo because it's just too big for the space, and I want to be able to open the gate freely and not have a bobo there. So I am going to be moving that. Everything else that I cleaned up is I cleaned up and just weed whacked everything here. I still need to come in and do a little bit of cleanup, but I'm doing as much as I can with the energy that I have. So this is probably all I'm going to be able to do today. I'm getting eaten alive by mosquitoes, even though I put on repellent. They are brutal this time of year, especially we've had so much rain. And unless you get out here and really make sure that you dump everything, bird baths and even small pots that might not have drainage holes, you're gonna have a massive problem. But look at the begonias, they're looking so pretty. I love how they're looking. They're really shining over here because it's so much shade. They're looking really good. So I think that is gonna do it for today's video. I will have more coming. I've got a lot of cleanup, major cleanup going on. I've got to get it prepared. I got so much stuff to plant. I have a new flower bed to create. There is just so much more that is going on. And we can't forget that come Halloween, about a month before Halloween, we start decorating for Halloween. My husband is a Halloween fanatic. We love to decorate the front yard with a bunch of spooky stuff. So stay tuned for that as well. Thank you, everybody, and we'll see you next time. Have a great garden day.